This is Charlie Stocker with Hey Garden Guy Charlie Stocker on Facebook, heygardenguy.com on our website, where you can ask questions and we'll answer the questions within hopefully 24 hours. And together we'll raise our IQ. Today, we're into the time when there's a lot of transplanting that can be done in your garden. Plant material that maybe has outgrown its area, maybe is for some reason not blooming as well as it once did because it is kind of crowding itself out with its roots. And so now is the time of the season, which this is the middle of October, when you start thinking about separating some of your plants out. And it's really a simple process. It doesn't take rocket scientists to do it, but yet I want to show you some of the plants that we can in fact transplant and how easy it is and what their root structures are in terms of the perennials. The first plant that I want to look at is a re-blooming iris. Now I only have re-blooming iris because they bloom in the springtime, but then they also bloom in the fall. And the time to transplant your iris, either the regular iris or the re-blooming iris, is when it's right, just cool weather, and you can still get a lot of root growth from the rhizomes. So what we're looking at again is I've got this crowd of irises. They've been in the ground here for about 3 years. They're still blooming well, and I'm simply going to run my shovel in and pop them out. Now, when I do that, you're going to notice the root structure. And I simply pull it out, just very gingerly, and you see how they're connected. Okay, now we expose that connection, and we find the rhizomes. Okay, you keep as much of the roots as you possibly can, and then you separate them, just like I'm doing here, and voila, we have 2 iris. Now I can even go further and I can break off this particular one, and you'll see I do have a structure above the ground, so I actually have 3 re-blooming iris. Now in the planting of these iris, again I keep as much of the root structure as I can on. This is the rhizome. They don't need a lot of loamy soil. They like a full sun, and when we say full sun, we're saying 6 hours. Actually, when you prepare the soil, you want to dig down anywhere from 12 to 15 inches, only so these roots can penetrate the hard pan, but this should be almost exposed to the soil. Now, when you plant, at the end of the season like this, you can trim the fan, what we call the fan, back about half, just to kind of tidy it up a little bit. The photosynthetic process has primarily already gone through its season, and then you simply plant. The interesting thing about iris, it was named after the Greek goddess who rode on a horse on rainbows, the name Iris. And again, you can go on Google and you can see all of the different re-blooming irises there are. My particular favorite one is called, and that's what this one is called Immortality. It's a pure white. It blooms in the spring and it blooms in the fall. So you can see, again, this isn't rocket science. It's relatively simple. You do it every 2 to 3 to 4 years. It needs a full sun. Plant it in a somewhat acid soil, but it doesn't, you can almost plant it in clay and it's going to do well. But this way you can either give those additional iris to other friends or put them in other areas of your landscape. This is Charlie Stocker with Hey Garden Guy Charlie Stocker and how to transplant your iris. Have a great day.